On. Hi, I'm Ryan Hunter, and this is Kalispell Connections, a program where we talk about issues important to the community. With me today is Sandy Connor, someone who has previously experienced homelessness and has recently found stable housing. Welcome, Sandy.
Hi.
So, Sandy, can you start by telling us how did you first become homeless? I know it was some time ago, but what was that experience and what precipitated it?
Well, I was in prison in California for a drug charge, and I got out of prison. I went to the U.S. vet program for a year, and I got off my probation, parole, and everything in California. And a day to the year that I got to the program, they basically kicked me out of the program, which made me homeless again in California. My son freaking found me and got in touch with me and said, "Come up here, Dad, stay with me. You know, you're homeless in California. Come up here." That was a year and a half ago. And then the pandemic hit with the coronavirus stuff. So everything got locked down for 6 months, and we're getting replacement Social Security card and stuff like that. Kind of held me up with getting work. Then I got in touch with the BOA here in Kalispell and the VA, the housing authority, and got me into this place where I'm at right now. A week and a half after I got into this address, I got my replacement Social Security card and started working about 2 weeks after I got here. And been here for 8 months now, doing good. Got a nice piggy bank fucking full of money. I mean, I have a bit tendency that my boss keep getting on my ass about not making cash and paychecks. So they had like 2 or 3 sometimes at a time before I make it to the bank. But yeah, still working 40 hours a week, and doing maintenance as well as the front desk at the Motel 6 right here in Kalispell. So I'm doing good, making good money, I've never had a problem with actually keeping a job or getting a job. I mean, I worked at, like Alamo Car Rentals, doing service agent stuff for cars in Inglewood in California at the LAX. Veterans, VA has helped a lot getting me into a place because of the veteran program.
And so your criminal record, did that contribute to having trouble finding housing then?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that, is other thing. But I mean, like a lot of places like Town Pump, because of my history, even though it's 5 or 6 years old, wouldn't hire me. They wanted to hire me, but the corporation wouldn't let them hire me. Wouldn't, so because of security checks and stuff like that. That was a real hindrance with getting work. So, and because of my son had been one of the employees at the Motel 6 and knew the manager real well, he helped me get into the job I'm at right now, and doing good there. I'm in the management team right there at the Motel 6 right here in Kalispell. So, and that's where most people, because of my criminal history, I don't get, how you say, to foot in the door, basically. But once I do get to put in the door again, they find out what I can do and stuff like that, and it helps. I don't know a whole lot of people in town, which keeps me out of trouble. The few individuals I do know from the warming center, I really only see them once in a while, like on the side of the street right now. So I kind of avoid all the troublemakers in town.
What would you say was the toughest part about being homeless?
It's the cops harassing you because you're on the streets, staying warm at night and stuff like that. And anywhere where there's any groups of like homeless, we always end up with the drugs and stuff like that. I've had a drug history and drug past, so it makes it a little harder. That's one of the reasons my son said, "Here, come to Kalispell, get away from California, get before you end up in prison again." And like I said, I've been, buying Christmas presents. I got a room full of Christmas presents for my grandkids. I got 5 grandkids in this town with 2 of my sons. So doing good. Got my own car now. Got my own place.
I understand you lived in a storage shed for a while when you came to town. Is that right?
Yeah. From June until November, when I went to the warming center at first last year, I was staying in Meridian Storage. I'd sneak in before the closing of the night and kind of hid out my storage all night long. And then in the morning, when after the gates open, out before the staff and the facility got there. But being homeless, and plus being in the military, I've had things like escape and evade training and stuff like that. So I know how to basically blend in and lay low when I need to lay low. So
you had a storage shed rented then?
Yeah, I had it rented because I was still, when I first got up here, I was still living off what they call GR in California, which is they give you about $200 a month cash and food stamps. So when I first got up here, that's what I was living off of basically. And $70 a month rent for a storage unit was a lot better than $500 for a room. Made the money go a little farther and kept my phone going, stuff like that, communication wise. And plus, I had to go through transferring all my VA stuff from California to Montana. So that took a little more time, But once I got it all straightened out and I got my own place, the VOA helped me get into my place where I'm at right now. And my rent's paid up until, December right now. And I get enough money in my piggy bank to cover the next 6 months worth of rent and food and stuff. So I'm not putting money away.
How did you learn about the warming center?
Kalispell PD.
Oh, yeah.
Jerry at Kalispell PD is the one that said go over here. That was last year. So Jerry got me over there, and I worked with Tanya and all them over there. Matter of fact, while I was there, staying there, I helped them with some of their issues with their, new building and stuff like that.
Yeah, I understand Tanya said that you really helped out a lot at the warming center, fixing things and providing maintenance.
Yeah. Because, especially, when they had an electrical issue because the coffee pot kept blowing the outlets. And when they used the coffee pot, they like in microwave and warming plates, they kept blowing the outlets, and I helped them get that straightened out.
So you said the VA helped you find the housing you're in now?
Yeah, actually VOA. Dan at VOA and Matt at VOA right here in Kalispell helped get me into this place,
So
most of my are veterans and stuff like that. So
what does the stable housing mean for you?
Well, I'm doing a lot better. My depression isn't bothering me like it used to be, because I get really, my bipolarness fucking has an effect as well as I have a tendency to get antisocial when I'm in the depression mode. So I don't want to associate with a whole lot of people. So I just kind of hibernated in my storage unit most of the time, come out, go to the grocery store, get something to eat for the next day or so, and go back into my storage and lay low all day and all night. So it helps out.
So how the housing was able to you were able to get a better handle on the mental health issues and some of the support that you needed. Is that the case?
Yeah, that was a big thing. As you can see from the meeting I just had when we were waiting to start this, that now that I've started helping out a few of my neighbors, now I'm starting to get work coming in on the side. It'd be like, because like I said, I worked as a self-employed mechanic for probably most of the last 20 years in between jobs and stuff like that, and supported myself in California doing mechanic work on the side for people. Like he was talking about, you got a quote for $1,500. That's $800, and my usual price in California was $250 to put an engine in. That's a simple job, you know. Just swap out one and for the other. That's the easy part. And he wants to give me and my neighbor as a veteran, right? Because I'll end up helping him on it. Making $800 to put an engine into a full-size truck. That's not bad.
And you're able to do that because you have a place that people can find you.
Yeah.
and
Yeah. I got a place. I've
work.
already started collecting tools again and stuff like that. So I'm starting to get my tools back that I need to go back to mechanic work or whatever if I want to. I got a roof over my head with forming and stuff like that. That's the key thing. Especially when you're in your mid-50s, you know, cold weather and rough life has a bad effect. Everything starts to hurt, stuff like that.
And having the housing, will having the housing allow you to stay away from the drugs in the future, you think, as well?
Oh yeah. Like I said, right now I can basically, my average day is probably about 8 to 10 hours at the motel a day, because I'm working front desk as well as maintenance over there. So I'm doing 2 jobs basically, you know, 5-6 days a week. I'm on call basically most of the time, so they could call me and have a problem and I get to go show up over there, which is nice because it's only about a 10-minute drive from here.
What do you foresee for your future? How do you envision the next few years and where you'll be and what you'll be doing?
I'll probably still be here doing good because, like I said, I've made my impression on the ownership and the management of the motel. So they've already, the temporary managers who came in July to straighten out a bunch of issues at the motel, already, because they come in and they like troubleshoot, repair management issues with motels for the corporation that owns our motel. And he goes to different motels for like 90-day periods to help them get upgraded. He's already told me if they go to this town or wherever, their next location, if they need help, they want me to come over there. So, I mean, that'll give you an idea of the impression I made on them.
What do you think your future would have been had you not had the help from the warming center and the VOA and that assistance?
I would have been back in California, homeless and running them up. I mean, you know, you got to do what you got to do to survive. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, again, I know too much of the seedy crowd in California, so you know, what I mean? That's why my son said, "Hey, come up here. At least we can keep you out of trouble." Which is, I'm doing good. I mean, I see them, and like every now and then, once or twice, I've had a couple of individuals who were at the warming center that were problem children that I know of show up at the motel, and they want to get all buddy again because they see you got a job and like an income. But I stay away from them. I can just do my job. That's all you can do nowadays.
Yeah. What do you say to folks? What would you want folks to know most about the experience of homelessness? If you could share, anybody who doesn't know anything about what that must be like, and what would you like folks to most know about?
It's a total different way of life, first off. And most people who are homeless, like it's a mental health issue, basically. They consider it to, now that it is a chronic homelessness, is as a mental health issue. I mean, I've had individuals who have had, you know, places offered to them, and they literally go there for a couple months and end up back on the streets because they just, you know, it's too confining and stuff like that. But I mean, I've been in the military, so I mean, I adapt and overcome basically. And I know that, you know, if I ended up on the street again, I'd do what I have to do to survive, basically. And I mean, that's not the good thing, but I mean, I know how to survive on the streets as well. I mean, go on. I lived in LAX, Inglewood, California, on the streets for a year before I came up here, and had no problems. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm certainly glad you don't have to survive on the streets any longer. I'm so happy you've been able to find stable
And
housing.
yeah, I am too. Like I said, still in touch with Jerry. I'm still in touch with Tanya and them at the Winery Center.
Well, I wish you the best of luck in the future. And thank you for talking with me and sharing your experience with me. And yeah, I'm happy for you and best of luck to you.
Yep. I'm glad to be up here in Kalispell where I'm staying out of trouble. That's the key thing. And you got to remember, with everyone that's homeless, a lot of them expect to be given a lot of stuff. And you can usually tell the ones who are just out to get the free buck, don't want to work, whatever. And then you have also the other side. You know, there are people out there who really would like help and either don't ask for it, but you know, if it's given, they'll accept it. They're just trying to get a help up, not a help out. You know what I mean? That's a key thing to remember.
Yeah, a lot of those folks. Absolutely. All right. Well,
And
thank you.
like I said, you know, with Tanya and them, you know, because when I went to go to the Motel 6 interview and stuff like that, Tanya was on my, you know, interview as a recommendation or reference.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, Tanya and the folks there at the Warming Center are wonderful folks. They do a wonderful job. I'm so glad they were able to help you. And I think they're helping a lot of folks out there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sandy.
No problem.
Thank you, Sandy, so much.
No problem.